My name is Gregory Newson, aka Uncle Gregory. I'm a writer, artist, and historian. I tour up and down the East Coast at Civil War reenactments and historical events by invitation. And I tell the story about the Black Confederates, which a lot of people deny that there was ever Black Confederates, in which I find Southerners, true Southerners, know the facts. Here is one of my books that was asked of me to design this book cover. And Mr. Lachlan didn't realize that I designed it with my image on the cover. It's a fascinating book, but I got to at least write the foreword in the book. And it is packed with history that you really never knew about. And it's got sources in the back where you can get further information. People don't realize that the African Americans was the eyes and ears of the first original Ku Klux Klan, and with Forrest, and misinterpretation and distortion of this great man who's this country's first civil rights leader. I strongly recommend you go to Newson Publishing, that's Newson publishing.com, and learn more. This second book is a book by Shotwell Publishing, which I was asked to do all the illustrations for. And it's a way that Robert E. Lee would explain to his grandkids about the war. And wise people would always tell young people the less of two evils, because they're going to go out and learn more on their own. But it's a fascinating book, simple way to, to explain it. This book here is about Robert E. Lee's pet chicken, Nellie, that he had for 2 years. I did all the artwork and illustrations in the book that tells this remarkable story about Robert E. Lee's chicken that was named Nellie. The book is dedicated to a young lady that was killed accidentally at a Civil War reenactment, which was a dear friend of mine. And I have been so moved by her life. She's named General Maggie Sue. And this is my last book that I've done about President Jefferson Davis. I named it The Politically Correct Jefferson Davis. Why? Because it is hidden about this man's relationship. Even though he was a slave owner, I think he had over 100 slaves. He developed the slaves to have their own court system. He sold his plantation to a black man after the war as opposed to sell it to a white man. He had such a relationship with his African American slaves. He made sure before he went off to war that they were well provided for. And little do people realize that his wife does not appear to be of European descent, if I can use it that expression. She more looks like a Native American or a mulatto woman. And the reason I believe they would not let this be magnified as I'm doing it, because it would make President Jefferson Davis appear more human-like. And you got to understand how the winners of the war gets to write the history, and they must demoralize and undermine the losers. Us people are governed too much by fear. The truth, I have learned, as everyone searches for, will lead you to freedom, independent thinking, open-mindedness, and update your computer. Because I know many of us don't update our computer because we would have to learn a new operating system. I hope that you enjoy this short video. Go to newsonpublishing.com and learn more. But please, go revisit everything that you ever thought you knew about history. As President Harry Truman said, the only thing new in this world is a history you don't know.
Oh, let me get that. Thank you, Uncle Gregory. Would you tell me about your coffee?
My coffee is really from South America. 20,000 Confederate soldiers fled to South America. And there were a lot of them were scared of war crimes, and they just wanted to get away from the Lincoln administration and the new Reconstruction laws. But their ancestors, every year, they're called Confederados. If any of y'all are still listening to this video, Google it. And you'll find out they have the biggest celebrations each year celebrating their heritage. They dress up in their Confederate uniform and dance through the streets of Brazil and San Pablo. I decided to go out in the world and find the most ugliest guy and put him on the cover.
Handsome young man.
And I put all kind of history on the bag that you never knew about the Black Confederates. Something that you would used to do with your Rice Krispies and cornflakes. Remember, you have to eat your Rice Krispies and read the box? But I only sell this to people with discriminating tastes. This coffee does not mix well with cream. So please, try my coffee. You will never go, once you go black, you're not going back. That's it. I think that's a good close right there.
Okay. But I wanted to see how you got started doing what you're doing.
Oh, okay. Well, really, it goes back further. I started painting when I was 12 years old, won scholarship. Norman Rockwell gave me a scholarship in New York. I quit painting when I was 18, 19. I was winning awards, but I wasn't getting money. Like, I guess when we go to a certain age, the street or our hormones or whatever it is encourages us to want other things. And I quit painting and became a drug dealer and then a drug addict. And I got caught in a nationwide sting with a gang that was run by Nicky Barnes. And I went to prison for 6 months. And there I really got an idea and understanding of victim mentality thinking. I know why there's so many black men in prisons. And believe me, our education system has a lot to do with it, especially the subject history. But after I got out, I refused to go back to New York because all my other friends were junkies and dealers and criminals. And I decided to go to Jacksonville, Florida, where my ancestors originally came from and where a few of my ancestors still resided when I decided to retreat and join a church in Jacksonville, Florida. But I still didn't go back to painting. And I think 1 or 2 years after becoming an art director of an advertising agency in Jacksonville, Florida, I went on a vacation and stumbled over Stonewall Jackson's home. And what I learned from the curator about him starting the first black Sunday school, it made me wonder why I was not ever taught such positive things about such a gentleman. So I wrote, and well, I didn't write. I bought every book I can possibly get my hands on about Stonewall Jackson. And the more I learned about him, the more angrier I got about the education and my belief system, and me joining the Black Panther Party, and me being part of the street riots on 125th Street in the 60s, and my negative view on Southern white folks made me furious, and I decided to start painting again. And with this passion, I knew a good artist should provoke thought or at least piss you off. So I took brush in hand and started painting again and built up a portfolio and decided to write my first book about Stonewall Jackson after I did all this in-depth history, education. And one book led to another, and I definitely fell in love with Nathan Bedford Forrest. And then President Jefferson Davis. But that saying about the truth will set you free is absolutely right. I hope to God that you just go beyond what your school teachers tell you, because they're told by the board of their boards of a certain curriculum. And many of them know the truth, but they can't go out of that curriculum. It's up to you to dig deep for the truth, because it will affect your life, your outlook, how you view the world. I studied Hitler's Nazi youth education. I studied Mao Zedong when he passed a little red book all over his nation. Stalin's education of his people. And I studied what Nikita Khrushchev said to America when he came to the UN. We don't have to fire a shot at you. We're going to help you destroy yourself from within. And that program has been running from the Soviet Union up to now. But us liberal, you young people out there, you're so eager to try to embrace something, be passionate about something. Hold on. You only got the surface. You only see the color of things, like the color of skin. You don't. But anyway, God bless you. And thank you very, very much for the time.
Thank you, Gregory Newson. God bless you. I'm going to take some pictures of your artwork.
Yes, please do.
So talented. Thank you for sharing with us.
Trying to find your bag to put your. Let me go to my car.